저는 남자친구 없어요.
I don't have a boyfriend.
에?
Globalization, brought about by the power of modernity, has led to many changes in the way we communicate with one another. Recent statistics show that there are now 250 million immigrants worldwide. These immigrants, however, face one huge dilemma: the language barrier. Understanding each other has been an age-old problem. So how can people from different nations and linguistic upbringings effectively communicate with one another? With the desire for countries to become part of a single global culture, let's talk about how the invention of instant translators, its development, significance, potential, and implications for a larger society break the global pressures of communication and how they change the language game today.
The development of technology has helped quicken the speed of translation, made translating easier, and made translated material more accessible to the masses. Since ancient kingdoms used to speak many different languages, pre-prepared clay tablets with translations written on them were the primary way messages were translated. Later on, translations were written on manuscripts like the first translation of the Bible into Latin, also known as the Vulgate. The invention of the printing press helped make translations more accessible to the ordinary people because it lowered the cost of reproduction. Half a century later, the computer sped up and automated translations. In the 1950s, an experiment by Georgetown University and IBM demonstrated that computers were able to translate up to 60 Russian sentences into English in under a minute. The internet further sped this up with websites like Google Translate that could theoretically translate up to 1 million books in a day. Despite this, websites like these need an active internet connection, which is where the instant translator comes in. The instant translator is a handheld device, which one could speak into and the device would speak the translation for you. It works both ways and for a variety of different languages.
Because of the rapid rise of globalization over the past decades, the quality of living in many nations has been raised, and the interdependence between the cultures and the nations has grown greater. So, the positive impacts of globalization include increase in economic growth, rise of free trade,
Access to international aid and support.
Development of human rights all over the world.
and accelerated evolution of technology. It is also important, however, to take note that globalization would not have been made possible without effective diplomacy and communication. Here's Takuro Yoshida. He launched ELI, the first wearable Wi-Fi free translator in 2017, with a vision to make communication easy for everyone. The ELI translation device was initially developed to cater to travelers, aimed primarily for convenience as it takes approximately 0.2 seconds to translate simple phrases. What is your recommendation? As of 2019, it can only translate from English to 4 different languages, which are Japanese, Chinese or Mandarin, Korean, and Spanish. However, according to the developers, other modern languages are to be added, which will be based on customer demand and the feedback they get.
There are actually a lot of available instant translator devices in the market under various companies, such as Travis the Translator, Google Pixel Buds, The Pilot, and Illy Wearable Translator.
With multiple existing devices like these, we can assume that we already have all necessary codes, algorithms, and technology to develop and mass-produce translators.
When the time comes that these devices become more accessible to everyone, tourists wouldn't enjoy the experience of immersing themselves in a certain culture since they wouldn't need to research and practice how to say basic phrases in another language to guide them throughout their trip. This also poses devaluing effects on institutions such as education and special needs linguistics.
Foreign language students wouldn't appreciate their majors anymore, and the job of interpreters would be replaced by translation devices. We then ask, could the rise of instant translators replace the need to learn new languages?
Instant translators constitute the expansion of artificial intelligence in response to the so-called intercultural communication. But to what extent are they precise with their translations? Even though people seek efficiency through the maturing participatory culture of the internet, the capabilities of instant translators aren't enough to replace human translators. The system, on one hand, becomes faulty and prone to inaccuracy as it could only perform established, easily programmable, and conscious tasks, leaving behind those beyond the system's capability, hence not being part of a translator's operating data. As differences across people and traditions from various countries and cultures are becoming more noticeable and celebrated, breaking this language barrier is without a doubt a universal goal. But technology's capacity to translate more for less is a risk we should reflect on in future prospects of translators' use and continuous development.